Dinar shift. The global discussion surrounding the Iraqi dinar has reached a level of intensity and widespread curiosity rarely witnessed in recent memory, prompting viewers across every continent to pose a fundamental question. What pivotal events are unfolding within Iraq's financial sector that are driving prominent commentators like Frank26 and Pimpy to speak with such a renewed sense of urgency? This compelling report will take you on a deep exploration into the online financial conversations currently dominating forums and social media, particularly focusing on the intriguing but highly debated TrumpReset plan theory, and the stringent financial warnings issued by Pimpy concerning future tax liabilities for those who may exchange Iraqi dinar holdings. While the speculative nature of these claims remains high, the undeniable fact is that global interest in the future direction of Iraq's monetary policy is once again surging, fueled by hopes for a significant financial turning point. We will meticulously break down the core claims made by these influential voices, analyze the community's varied and passionate reactions, and examine the foundational progress in Iraq that has led many to believe 2025 could mark a period of profound financial transformation for the nation and its currency. The very first and most compelling point currently generating considerable debate and attracting new audiences revolves around the perspective shared by Frank26, a figure who has cultivated a dedicated following captivated by Iraq's continuous, long-term financial reform agenda and the potential economic opportunities it might introduce. His recent commentary has prominently featured the phrase dubbed by his followers as the real TrumpReset plan, an expression that has become a lightning rod for both excitement and heated controversy within speculative financial groups online. This concept is understood by his community as a belief system suggesting that major global financial architectures and alignments are poised for a significant overhaul in the coming years, particularly influenced by the potential return or increased influence of specific political figures on the international market stage. It is crucial to underscore that these ideas are purely interpretative and highly speculative, lacking any formal confirmation or endorsement from legitimate governmental or central banking institutions. Nevertheless, their dramatic and hope-inspiring nature allows them to propagate rapidly across various social media and financial platforms, engaging a broad spectrum of viewers. A significant number of viewers find themselves strongly attracted to the notion that certain nations, with Iraq frequently cited, might experience as monumental economic shifts as a direct result of or in alignment with these proposed larger international financial currents. This school of thought posits that global restructuring could unlock Iraq's economic potential in an accelerated timeframe. Yet, as our analysis will soon reveal, seasoned financial analysts such as Pimpy actively and strongly caution their listeners against conflating such speculative interpretations with guaranteed economic or regulatory outcomes. Despite these necessary warnings, the sheer volume of discussions and the considerable buzz surrounding these concepts have intensified dramatically, fostering continuous debate and leading countless Iraqi dinar holders to contemplate and often anxiously discuss the realistic possibilities that might unfold in the years ahead. This widespread engagement demonstrates the powerful influence of optimistic interpretation on the sentiment of a globally dispersed holding community. Simultaneously, another highly respected and influential voice that has once again captured the attention of the community is Pimpy, who has consistently adopted a significantly more measured and cautious methodology toward all dinar-related discussions. Where Frank26 often emphasizes an interpretation rich with optimism and potential, Pimpy strategically chooses to focus on this critical legal risk, potential taxation liabilities, and the unavoidable regulatory realities that are frequently overlooked or entirely disregarded by less experienced or newer foreign currency holders. His most urgent and timely warnings are currently centered on the potential tax implications that could legally arise for any individual who realizes a profit, regardless of its magnitude, from a future foreign currency exchange. He diligently reminds his audience that the established laws in most major economies mandate that profits derived from currency exchanges are legally classified and treated as taxable events, necessitating strict adherence to reporting standards. This means that should the Iraqi dinar experience an increase in value, even a modest one, national tax agencies are likely to legally require detailed financial reporting and comprehensive documentation from the holder. According to Pimpy's extensive experience and warnings, a widespread issue is that many people profoundly underestimate the complexity and potential difficulty of this process. They may have held their currency assets for many years, but fail to realize that the moment they attempt to exchange it, the government may demand incontrovertible proof of the original purchase, the precise date of acquisition, and a complete, verifiable record of all realized capital gains. His fundamental message is remarkably straightforward and clear: never allow yourself to be caught in a position of financial unpreparedness. Even though the future trajectory of the Iraqi dinar's value cannot be accurately predicted by anyone, every holder has the immediate capacity and responsibility to prepare diligently for the universal tax requirements that could legally apply under virtually any conceivable scenario of increased value. As these distinct and often conflicting viewpoints vigorously circulate through online channels, the dinar community finds itself fundamentally divided between two powerful forces: excitement and extreme caution. On one side, a multitude of viewers are genuinely drawn to the alluring possibilities of widespread economic resets or dramatic, large-scale shifts in established financial architectures. On the opposite side, a large and influential group prioritizes the necessary emphasis on economic realism, meticulous and careful planning, and legal compliance. Historically, conversations surrounding the dinar have invariably represented a complex blend of genuine hope, detailed analysis, intense speculation, and legitimate concern, a reflection of the diverse, global audience engaged in the topic. This audience includes ordinary workers, retired individuals, small business owners, and seasoned investors hailing from dozens of different nations, all sharing the singular common interest in the ultimate financial future of Iraq. This deeply shared interest is precisely why debates concerning potential financial reset plans frequently trigger such powerful and often emotional reactions within the community. The simple, compelling idea that a major, unexpected economic event could potentially revolutionize or transform lives virtually overnight is an exceptionally powerful motivator. However, the community is always and often forcefully reminded that sheer speculation is thus not equivalent to verifiable evidence, and the ultimate determination of monetary policy rests exclusively with official, sovereign central banking institutions, not with the most compelling or popular online voices. Nevertheless, these continuous discussions serve a crucial purpose by keeping the community engaged and highly active, with many members holding the firm belief that exposure to multiple, contrasting viewpoints is essential for encouraging more thoughtful, informed, and ultimately responsible decision-making about their currency holdings. 2. Therefore, regardless of whether one aligns more closely with the optimistic interpretations presented by Frank 26 or the rigorous cautions offered by Pimpy, the conversation itself remains an absolutely core and vital component of the Iraqi dinar journey. To fully grasp why these recent and disparate statements are generating such overwhelming attention, it is necessary to take a step back and examine the substantial financial and structural progress that Iraq has successfully achieved over the past several years. The nation has been systematically and diligently focusing on an ambitious agenda that includes the modernization of its foundational banking infrastructure, the widespread expansion of digital payment systems, and a strict tightening of its compliance standards to meet the stringent requirements of international financial regulators. These sustained improvements are critically important because they are the essential building blocks for establishing and enhancing international credibility. Numerous commentators and analysts agree that Iraq must demonstrably achieve and maintain a high level of economic stability, transparency, and modern, internationally compatible banking operations before any truly major, transformative currency changes could realistically be considered or implemented. While the official announcements emanating from Iraq's central authorities remain deliberately careful, often measured, and frequently non-committal, observers globally scrutinize and analyze every single public update. For instance, when Iraq reports a significant increase in its foreign currency reserves, successfully strengthens its crucial anti-corruption mechanisms, or implements substantial upgrades to its banking technology infrastructure, commentators immediately interpret these positive steps as decisive movement in the desired direction of economic strengthening. However, interpretations of these developments vary widely across the community. Some viewers correctly categorize these reforms as necessary, routine, and standard modernization steps for any developing economy, while others view them with greater conviction as those unmistakable early stages of a long-term strategy specifically aimed at currency strengthening and revaluation. Regardless of the individual interpretation applied, Iraq's persistent and dedicated efforts toward financial modernization have unequivocally become a major, central focal point for the massive global dinar community. It is this underlying context of steady, albeit slow, progress that fundamentally fuels both the more dramatic and hopeful theories, such as the TrumpReset plan, and the equally critical, grounded warnings regarding future taxes, because people maintain the belief that significant change could eventually arrive, even though no specific date or new rate is officially known. 2. Returning to Frank 26's widely disseminated perspective, his followers consistently express appreciation for his steadfast confidence in Iraq's inherent economic potential and forward trajectory. He frequently underscores the interpretation that Iraq is systematically progressing through carefully orchestrated, deliberate phases, suggesting that the noticeable silence from certain high-level officials may be interpreted not as delay, but rather as an intense, quiet preparation behind the scenes. Thus, individuals who strongly resonate with his particular viewpoint often find considerable reassurance in the belief that major, dramatic steps could be actively and quietly unfolding away from the public eye. These beliefs are significantly amplified by his energetic and engaging presentation style and his recurring insistence that Iraq's numerous financial reforms possess a far deeper strategic meaning than what may be apparent on the superficial public surface. It is absolutely vital, however, to consistently remember and emphasize that his conclusions and pronouncements are fundamentally his interpretations and inferences, and they do not constitute official confirmations or verifiable facts. What lends his updates such compelling weight and attention is the skillful way he connects various dispersed pieces of public information into a singular, cohesive, and broader narrative about Iraq's massive future potential. Regardless of whether one agrees with his specific conclusions, his significant influence within the devoted dinar community is beyond dispute. With his commentary now prominently featuring discussions surrounding the speculative TrumpReset plan, a greater number of viewers are actively tuning in, driven by a powerful curiosity about the potential role as global geopolitical shifts could play in the nation's future economic changes. Pimpy, on the opposing side of the discussion, has always maintained a distinctly more grounded, analytical, and practical tone. He consistently stresses the absolute need for clear, meticulous documentation, the setting of genuinely realistic expectations, and a thorough understanding of the operational realities of governmental taxation structures. One of his most frequently and forcefully repeated warnings revolves around the implications of IRA's capital gains taxes. He clearly explains that if an individual purchases a foreign currency specifically as a speculative asset and later exchanges it for their local currency at a higher value, the government's tax authority will, in general, treat that realized profit precisely like any other type of investment gain, regardless of the size. This crucial regulation applies even if the profit generated is relatively minor or modest. His primary concern remains that a large number of dinar holders are potentially expecting a sudden, dramatic influx of wealth without fully comprehending that their government will legally require irrefutable proof of the exact date they acquired their currency and the specific amount they paid for it. If a holder lacks the necessary receipts, confirmatory transaction emails, or other forms of proper contemporaneous documentation, the required tax compliance process could rapidly become exceedingly complex and legally precarious. Pimpy's consistent advice is to encourage everyone to secure and safely store all financial records and, crucially, to consult a qualified tax professional before making any binding financial assumptions. He emphasizes that even if the dinar's value never materially changes, maintaining accurate, professional records serves to legally protect the holder from potential financial or legal complications down the line. His message is intended not to instill panic, but rather to foster a state of complete preparedness. The sudden re-emergence of widespread discussion regarding a potential financial reset, especially one linked to specific political shifts, is a phenomenon that frequently enters the broader conversation whenever significant global financial instability or high-stakes political elections occur. Some segments of the community hold the strong belief that large-scale political changes possess the inherent power to trigger profound economic restructuring, particularly in nations that are actively navigating severe monetary challenges. These discussions have notably intensified in 2025, largely due to ongoing global market volatility, persistent inflation pressures in major economies, and the extensive international debates surrounding currency strength and stability. In this environment, often characterized by uncertainty, speculative theories can proliferate with remarkable ease. DAXA followers of Frank 26 and other like-minded commentators often view influential political figures as key catalysts and drivers in shaping international monetary policy, an interpretation which heavily fuels beliefs in the possibility of politically aligned reset plans. It must be explicitly stated that no government or official central authority has publicly confirmed the existence of any such plan. These ideas are purely derived from creative interpretations that attempt to connect sweeping global trends with the genuine, enduring hopes for economic revival and currency strengthening in certain countries. The simple reason these ideas spread so rapidly is that they tap directly into the deeply human desire for financial security and provide people with a perceived sense of answers during periods of prolonged global economic uncertainty. Accurate or not, these compelling theories offer a psychological anchor for people during highly unpredictable times. As these various narratives gain traction and influence, the dinar community exhibits increased online activity. Social media platforms, dedicated forums, live streams, and financial discussion channels are constantly filled with intense debates about what the next critical step might be. Some participants meticulously analyze the minutes from Iraqi parliamentary meetings. Others carefully examine global oil production data. Still others focus intently on U.S. monetary policy decisions or major international events. Further, a segment of the community often emphasizes spiritual or philosophical interpretations underlying global economic shifts. This community is remarkably diverse, with every member contributing their unique perspective. This inherent diversity is a significant factor in what has kept this dinar conversation vibrant and alive for many years since its inception. Even during prolonged periods when official updates from Iraq's central institutions are scarce or slow, the dedicated community continues its exploration of potential future possibilities. While speculation must always be approached with a strong, foundational degree of caution, the tangible enthusiasm and sheer determination demonstrated by the global dinar community powerfully underscore the extent to which people genuinely hope to see Iraq achieve profound economic success and stability. It serves as a persistent reminder that underlying every intricate currency discussion are millions of ordinary people worldwide, all of whom are hoping for stability, the opportunity for growth, and a secure financial future. When examining the reset discussion more closely, it is highly relevant to note that many people use the term extremely loosely and often without clearly defining what they mean by it. For some, the term refers to the potential fast restructuring of global debt. For others, it suggests a return of specific political leadership to older, more traditional monetary strategies. Still others speculate that it could refer to nations transitioning away from a dependence on digital systems or perhaps the revaluation of certain currencies to genuinely reflect underlying economic strength. The reality is that the term reset carries a multitude of meanings, and without concrete, official documentation, it remains fundamentally impossible to know what, if anything, the term accurately refers to. This ambiguity is precisely why the critical thinkers within the Dinar community consistently urge the utmost caution. 2. While the broad concept of a reset can be a powerful source of hope and motivation, it also harbors the potential to severely mislead people if they mistakenly interpret a speculative theory as an absolute, guaranteed truth. This situation is exactly where Pimpy's persistent warnings become especially salient and relevant. He strongly advocates that people should direct less energy toward unconfirmed predictions and instead focus their efforts on practical, actionable steps they can execute today. These steps include rigorous tax preparation, continuous growth in financial literacy, and the maintenance of realistic financial expectations. The vital balance between maintaining hope for the future and upholding financial responsibility in the present is his central, consistent theme. Let's return to the critically important topic of taxation, as this represents one of the most frequently and profoundly misunderstood areas among those engaged in foreign currency speculation. Many individuals are unfamiliar with the precise ways that complex tax codes treat speculative profits. Some mistakenly assume that because they are holding a physical currency, rather than traditional assets like stocks or bonds, their profit will be treated differently by tax authorities. However, in the vast majority of established tax systems, any realized increase in value, regardless of its specific source, is legally considered a taxable event. Pimpy frequently explains that the conscious failure to properly report these realized gains could lead directly to severe penalties, mandatory audits, or serious legal complications. He emphasizes that it is immaterial how a person initially learned about the dinar, how long they have held it, or whether they actively expected to exchange it. If a profit is realized, taxes legally apply. He further clarifies that government tax authorities do not legally differentiate between a holder's personal excitement and their legal responsibility. They are solely concerned with the accuracy and completeness of the financial reporting. This is why he urgently implores everyone to engage in proactive preparation now, rather than waiting for an event that is uncertain to occur. It is sound, practical advice that provides financial and legal protection to individuals irrespective of how the dinar's value may fluctuate in the future. As the community absorbs these vital warnings, reactions remain mixed. Some viewers fully appreciate the caution, noting that it helps to keep their expectations appropriately grounded and realistic. Others prefer the more optimistic perspective, believing that an emphasis on positive outcomes naturally attracts positive results. However, the conversation yields the most valuable insights when both of these contrasting perspectives are considered simultaneously and in context. Optimistic theories can effectively inspire motivation, generate excitement, and foster increased engagement among holders. Conversely, cautious, legally focused warnings serve the critical function of helping people protect themselves financially and legally. When these two viewpoints are combined, they forge a significantly more balanced and robust outlook, enabling individuals to maintain hope for substantial economic improvement while simultaneously preparing diligently for the most realistic and compliant outcomes. This carefully balanced perspective may ultimately represent the healthiest and most prudent way to navigate unpredictable and potentially turbulent financial landscapes. After all, no single commentator, however influential, possesses the ability to control government policy, mandate central bank decisions, or unilaterally determine the course of global economic shifts. Yet every single individual holder has full and direct control over their personal financial preparedness, their documentation efforts, and their psychological mindset. The more thoroughly informed the community becomes, the more robustly it is able to withstand external uncertainties. Another significant area frequently discussed by both the optimistic and cautious voices is the genuine and long-term potential inherent in the Iraqi economy. Iraq possesses one of the world's most extensive oil reserves, a large, young, and developing population, demonstrably growing private sectors, and a critical strategic geographic positioning. These powerful assets bestow upon Iraq a very real and tangible potential for profound economic growth. The true question is not whether Iraq is capable of growth, but rather how quickly and efficiently the nation can fully rebuild its core financial systems, solidify its political and economic stability, and successfully attract necessary international investment. Many traditional analysts believe that Iraq's economic trajectory is fundamentally positive, but they expect the progress to be necessarily slow and methodical. Others contend that persistent internal political challenges could cause considerable delays and setbacks. Commentators like Frank26 tend to interpret Iraq's incremental progress as part of a highly structured, predetermined moving toward an eventual, decisive change. Conversely, commentators like Pimpy interpret the very same government and central bank actions as steady but inherently cautious steps that absolutely require as realistic and extended time frames for proper implementation and maturation. Regardless of the specific opinion held, Iraq's formidable inherent potential remains a major, foundational reason why the global dinar conversation continues with such intensity, even decades after it first began. As these discussions intensify and draw more attention, new Iraqi dinar holders join the community every month, often completely unaware of the extensive debates that have occurred over many years. Many of these new members immediately turn to popular figures such as Frank26 and Pimpy for guidance. Some find the optimistic predictions to be instantly inspiring and motivating. Others find the warnings to be powerfully sobering and necessary. New members invariably ask a core set of repeating questions. Is the dinar on the brink of change? Is there a tangible global reset plan truly underway? Will taxes indisputably apply if the value changes? How should I properly organize and prepare my financial records? These questions persistently reoccur because they reflect genuine, fundamental concerns. People are rightfully anxious to avoid making irreversible financial mistakes. They seek clarity and a sense of direction. While no one can offer guaranteed predictions, fast, responsible, factual reporting helps new members differentiate clearly between analytical observation, speculative theory, and confirmed reality. Another key factor contributing to the rising momentum of these particular discussions is the growing global interest in exploring alternative currencies and seeking broader asset diversification. The pervasive economic uncertainty across major economies is prompting many individuals to explore new and unconventional financial strategies. Some are choosing to invest more heavily in traditional stocks, others are purchasing precious metals, a growing number are exploring volatile cryptocurrencies, and still others are choosing to acquire foreign currencies, such as the Iraqi dinar. While every one of these choices inherently carries risk, they all tap into a deeply rooted human desire for both financial security and opportunity. Commentators like Frank26 frequently discuss how significant shifts in global power dynamics, energy markets, and political leadership might influence the future strength of currencies. Pimpy, in his unique role, focuses on explaining how strict financial regulations and the unavoidable reality of taxation will ultimately shape the tangible outcome of any speculative investment. Together, these two voices create a dynamic, multifaceted discussion that accurately reflects the fundamental complexity and inherent uncertainty of today's global financial world. The conversation transcends a focus on a single currency. It speaks to the universal ways in which people respond to and plan for uncertainty and dramatic change. It is also essential to address a fundamental, key point that is often overlooked in the heat of speculation. Official governmental financial institutions rarely, if ever, announce major, significant currency adjustments dramatically or far ahead of time. Central banks operate with extreme caution, systematically and typically in private. Their paramount priority is always maintaining financial stability, not generating public hype. This means that any truly serious monetary shift, whether implemented in Iraq or any other sovereign nation, would be meticulously planned and executed internally long before the public receives any official notification. This institutional reality is frequently forgotten amidst the excitement of online predictions. Commentators will naturally attempt to interpret periods of silence or decipher indirect signals, but an interpretation can never, under any circumstances, serve as a substitute for an official government statement. This is why responsible news channels consistently encourage viewers to closely follow verified, public updates originating directly from Iraq's central financial authorities. Speculation may be engaging and exciting, but as official policy emanates only from official, confirmed sources, nonetheless, the act of speculation plays a vital role in keeping people actively engaged and highly motivated to learn more about the complexities of global economics. The growing, passionate debate surrounding whether specific political shifts could indeed influence financial outcomes is another topic that substantially energizes the Dinar community. Whenever national elections occur in large, influential economies, people inevitably engage in intense speculation about the potential resultant economic changes. Some believe that specific political leaders intrinsically favor strong currency reforms or significant financial restructuring, while others hold the opposing view. The very concept of a reset plan deeply rooted in political change reflects a universal desire for a more stable and predictable global financial system. This desire is not fundamentally about supporting one political figure over another. It is deeply rooted in the hope that influential leaders might successfully push the world toward stronger, more sustainable financial foundations. But once again, these wide-ranging discussions are purely interpretations and highly speculative theories. No government has provided public confirmation of any such unified plan, yet the powerful idea persists because it taps into a deeply felt, global yearning for transparency, fairness, and a major economic revival. Another area of significant and often underappreciated interest is Iraq's pronounced increase in focus on developing robust digital banking capabilities and adhering to international financial compliance standards. These structural changes may not be dramatic headline events, but they are profoundly important. Modern, sophisticated banking infrastructure facilitates significantly faster international transactions, enables stronger and more standardized documentation, improves fraud prevention capabilities, and strengthens communication with global financial networks. These crucial upgrades actively work to make Iraq's financial system more compatible with established international standards. Commentators interpret these technical reforms in various ways. Some assert they are an integral part of a much larger strategic plan for long-term currency strengthening. Others maintain they are simply necessary, routine modernization steps required for any aspiring developing economy. In either case, these reforms definitively show that Iraq is consistently moving forward, not regressing. That fundamental fact alone fuels sustained hope among Dinar holders who have patiently awaited measurable progress for many years. Now, we must connect all of these diverse threads back to Pimpy's essential warnings regarding taxation. His core message is both simple and exceptionally powerful regardless of the ultimate outcome for the Dinar's tax law is a persistent, unavoidable reality, and personal uncertainty is legally inadmissible as an excuse in the eyes of tax authorities. He strongly urges people to prepare immediately and proactively, securing all original receipts, storing digital copies of all records, saving all exchange records, and consulting qualified professionals. He issues a stark warning that individuals who choose to ignore or postpone addressing their tax responsibilities today could face severe legal and financial problems later. Even individuals who do not anticipate a major dinar shift must still maintain meticulous and proper financial documentation. This guidance is based not on fear, but on a sound financial responsibility. People often spend years discussing only potential gains, yet they forget that governments universally require absolute accountability for those gains. Pimpy firmly believes that even if a dramatic, transformative event never materializes, proper documentation provides essential, comprehensive legal protection for everyone involved. And, critically, if such an event does occur, people will be profoundly grateful they prioritized preparation well in advance. As the community moves deeper into 2025, the Dinar conversation finds itself standing at a clear and important crossroads. On one side are the hopeful, often inspiring messages, the bold predictions, and the theories that fuel financial excitement. On the other side are the necessary grounding reminders about the realities of law, taxes, documentation, and realistic time frames. The most successful and prudent strategy is not to rigidly choose one side over the other. The key, instead, is to remain comprehensively informed, maintain a balanced perspective, and be thoroughly prepared for multiple scenarios. The Dinar discussion has persisted for so long precisely because it resides at this intricate intersection of deep hope and necessary caution. People genuinely believe in Iraq's underlying economic potential, but they also understand that fundamental financial change is a complex process that demands considerable time. Responsible viewers must diligently evaluate every perspective with care, actively avoiding decisions based purely on emotion or unconfirmed speculation. Whether one ultimately agrees more with Frank 26's confident optimism or Pimpy's rigorous caution, the intelligent approach dictates learning valuable lessons from both sides of the narrative. In the final analysis, the widespread discussions about the TrumpReset plan, the essential taxation warnings, and Iraq's ongoing, long-term economic development efforts all share a single, unifying common thread. People are desperately seeking clarity and a sense of certainty in an uncertain world. Pervasive economic turbulence, global instability, and the rapid, disruptive transformation of digital financial systems leave many people feeling unmoored and actively searching for dependable answers. The global Dinar community serves as a powerful microcosm, reflecting this universal desire for stability and predictability. Whether individuals are enthusiastically hoping for a major financial improvement, cautiously planning for tax implications, or simply observing the measured pace of Iraq's progress, one truth remains consistently clear. Everyone desires a future where their financial decisions feel safe, meaningful, and adequately protected. The detailed discussions we are covering today are important because they reveal the intricate ways in which people think, hope, worry, and actively plan for that future. As we conclude this extended, deep dive report, always remember this crucial advice: stay fully informed, maintain a balanced perspective, and steadfastly avoid rushing into any financial decisions based exclusively on unverified speculation. The comprehensive Dinar story is intricate, long-running, and still very much in the process of evolving. Influential voices like Frank 26 and Pimpy offer two fundamentally different perspectives, but each contributes something genuinely valuable and necessary to the overall discussion. Optimism serves to keep people actively motivated, and caution is the essential tool that helps keep people financially and legally safe. Your ultimate responsibility as a viewer is to absorb all of the information presented, clearly separate verifiable fact from personal opinion, and make personal financial choices that actively and securely protect your own future. If Iraq continues its determined efforts to modernize its crucial financial systems, that is unequivocally positive news. But you must always remain grounded, thoroughly prepared, and meticulously organized, especially when it comes to understanding and adhering to tax laws and financial documentation requirements.